Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Indie Spotlight. We have a special guest today. This is Indie Spotlight Special Edition Saturdays. We have a special guest tonight, which is Keithfromupdablock, and multi-talented comedian, artist, all that. So I'm really excited to be interviewing him and asking him what he has been up to. I know he's been up to a few things. Hi. Okay. Um, I decided to leave comments on. People can send questions on the side to the questions box if they want to ask some questions, but please make your questions sensible and decent and not too long in length. I'm going to be welcoming Keith to the camera now. Okay, how do I want? Okay, here we go. Hi.
Hey, how are you? Can you see me? Am I
Hey.
cut off? I'm
Yes,
cut
I
off
see
of
you
the picture.
fine. So
Okay.
far, no, it's not cutting off. How are you doing? How's your Saturday?
My Saturday is going good. It's productive. A little slow. It's chilly here in Philly today. The
Yes.
weather is playing tricks on us,
Yeah.
but it's a wonderful day.
Yes, I'm very excited to interview you. Also because like I grew up with you. So I grew up with watching you all the time. And so did my sister and my cousins and stuff. So, where do you so I know your name is self-explanatory, but how did you come up with your name?
With the name Keith from Up the Block, when I kind of auditioned, I was already interning for Urban Expressions, but
Hmm.
when I got my opportunity, which was a crazy story, when I got my opportunity to host, I chose the name Keith from Up the Block because I wanted to be like the boy next door, but black and urban. I figured that would be the best personality to bring you the newest music videos and a word on the street and everything else like that. So my birthday name is Vernon Keith Ruffin Jr., but people used to always say, "Yo, you know who be bugging? That dude Keith, Keith from Up the Block." So that's when I made the name and stuck with it and stuff.
It was nice. It stuck. Yeah. Okay, so what area are you from? Are you always been from Philly or?
Yeah, born in Nicetown till I was around 3 or 4,
Mm,
um, up like near like Broad and Kerbar or on Missouri
okay.
Street.
Hmm.
But raised in Mount Airy, Uptown, baby, Mount Airy all day, Gilbert Street, 19150, represent.
Awesome, awesome. So you could like what inspired you to start like let's say start interning and knowing that you wanted to deal with like music and stuff like that, music and being a comedian and stuff like that.
Well, my journey starts when I was 4 years old. Grew up in a house, was surrounded by kind of domestic violence when I was young, and decided at a young age, after I saw a fight with my mom and my dad left, that I wanted to make my mom smile. So from that point on, I had become the kid that was smiling and goofing off in all of the pictures and everything. And then when I was looking at TV, it looked like the people on TV didn't have the problems with money or life like I had. So I said, I want to be on TV. I want to be famous. Ended up going to dance school when I was young. Fast forward, ended up going to Philadelphia's High School for Creative and Performing Arts, majored in drama. Was doing a lot of work, did like a crisscross music video when I was in high school, had a TV show on Channel 29 when I was in high school. Because the high school I went to is the same high school Boys to Men and the Roots and a whole bunch of Bilal, Jasmine Sullivan, a whole bunch of other people went to. When I graduated, I didn't get into NYU, so I ended up staying in Philly, going into the Art Institute, and that's how I came across Urban Expressions, where my love of hip hop, rap, acting, and comedy could all come together. So that's how that happened.
Wow, and it did. And we're glad that it did. um so I wanted to ask where can everyone find you at? So I normally ask everybody about their different platforms where everyone can
Okay.
find you.
All right. Well, I would say that my stage name is Keith from Up the Block. All right. That's
Hmm.
KeithFromupdablock. And if my name is my address, I'm very Googleable. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. and a whole lot of other domains. If you want to find, like what I do, you can follow me here on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook, or wherever.
Great.
Well, it's you
Uh,
pinned the name, but it's DA, not
oh,
THA.
snap.
So
Let me unpin that.
yeah, you say you have Keith from up
Okay.
D block. That's for my theater
Oh,
name. D. It would be the
okay.
block. DA.
I'm sorry. Spell that again for me because I'll unpin this. And
Okay.
I'll try to unpin it again. Okay.
So it's Keith
Mm-hmm.
Fromupd is in dog, A is in Albert, block. Keith from up the
Oh,
block.
okay. Okay. Why am I having it like that? Okay, so that's what I'll do.
No, that's okay. Even if you spell my name wrong, you can find me.
Okay. All right,
Because
great.
I find like in the past I would be very particular about saying, oh, go to at this or do this. But the truth of the matter is it's so much stuff out here. If you're interested in me, if you want the jewels that I have to give, if you want the gifts that I have to give, then you can definitely find me. Okay, the
Um,
name Keith from up the block, there's only one of me. And I've done enough to where I'll pop up and you can go down the rabbit hole.
Definitely, yeah. So you when did you start Urban Expressions? I know it came out in 1992. It was you and Shelly Shell and Monty, but it was also Ed Box and Roz too,
Yeah,
right in the
in
beginning.
91 and 92, Ed Box started Urban Expressions. His
Mhm.
mom owned WGTW TV 48, first black woman to own a broadcast television station in America. So she
Yeah.
owned that station. Ed was in college up in New York. When he came to Philly in order to make friends and to become social, his mom gave him the platform and let him play music videos from 11:30 to 1 o'clock at night. So in 1992, Ed Box produced Urban Expressions, and it came on regular broadcast TV at a
Yeah.
time when if you wanted to see the newest music videos, you used to have cable to see
Yes, you
them. And
did.
the
Yes.
beautiful thing about Urban Expressions was that it came on regular TV and
Mhm.
everybody could watch it. So when in '92, when I was like in 10th grade, I used to watch Urban Expressions. And it wasn't until '94, '95 that I jumped in, that I started interning, and then eventually ended up hosting, producing, and directing parts of Urban Expressions, along with Shelly Shell, who everybody knows.
Mhm.
Shelly was
Yeah.
a producer, was the first person to go out and get money for Urban Expressions, and I was more of a creative director. But shouts out to everybody, Mommy on the Scene, Howard Gilliam Jr., Ed
Yeah.
Box, Roz, the whole Urban Expressions family.
Isn't that something? I remember like we did not have cable for a while.
Yeah,
And that was the literally the only source of
the,
getting new videos.
it
We
was the
needed all the
only way
time.
to watch videos. In the vein of New York had a show called Video Music Box. So Ed kind of came from New York and he knew about Music Video Box and he kind of made the Philly version of that. And the beautiful thing about Urban Expressions was it was like we weren't public access, we were public broadcast, so we reached 10 million homes. But if you watch Urban Expressions, for the people that remember watching Urban Expressions, we used to play things that nobody else was playing. We used to play like that's where you would see like the new Mob Deep videos, videos by the
Yeah.
Roots, early Jay Z, early, you know what I mean, early everybody. To where MTV and BET wasn't even playing these videos, and we were playing them.
Is that something really a huge and innovating platform? How long did the show stay on till? It was on for a while.
Yeah, Urban Expression started in '92. I think they stopped airing new episodes maybe like 2017, 2018. I was right in a
Mm.
sweet spot where I did it for about 10, 11 years. Like
Wow.
probably from like I hosted probably from probably like 99, 2000 to around 2009, maybe 2010, like a decade of hosting. But the show in some form has been there, and hopefully one day it may come back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do
So
miss
it's,
the
it's the
show.
longest running music video television program in Philadelphia broadcast history. Black
Isn't that
owned,
something?
black owned and operated.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's really amazing. Like you gave us a lot of it has a lot of culture and history behind it. Um, I noticed that you interviewed a lot of people. You interviewed a lot of celebrities. A lot.
Yes.
And you even made a couple of your own videos too. Tell me about like a little bit about when you are you still doing like stand up? You're still doing stand up and stuff because
Yeah,
you're a very
yeah, I
funny
still do
comedian as
stand up.
well.
My
Yeah.
latest, I'm still doing stand up. I still record music. My latest album was called The COVID Theory. It's
Yes.
available on all platforms. All right. But yeah, I still do stand up. And I started, as you see behind me, Philadelphia Comedy College about 3 years ago. And we graduated about 80 students. So I'm still very much a career entertainer. I'm working harder than I ever have.
I
I'm working
see.
harder
Yeah.
than I was when I was on Urban Expressions, actually.
Wow. So
Acting, and everything.
tell me about. So you said you created a place called the Philadelphia Comedian College.
Yeah, Philadelphia Comedy College.
Oh, Philadelphia Comedy College. Could you tell me a little bit about that? I'm a little interested.
Yeah, Philadelphia Comedy College is a 10-week, 10-session course on art, business, and science, the stand-up comedy with instructors from HBO, Hulu, Comedy Central, Netflix. So basically, if you were to come in to Philadelphia Comedy College, it doesn't matter what level of comedy you're at, whether you've been performing or whether you've never performed before, you'll work a set for 10 weeks in a program. You'll get a t-shirt, an open mic directory, professional headshots from a photographer that takes pictures for Essence. You'll also get a video reel of your sold out graduation performance. And at that time, before the pandemic, we were doing it at Warm Daddies. So it'll be a sold out graduation show. You got 10 weeks to work your program. And we've graduated 80 students since 2016. We're the most prominent school for stand-up comedy here in the Philadelphia area. And we cater to everybody, young, old, white, black, house moms, professional people. We've even graduated police officers, criminals, reformed addicts, and everything that wanted to get up on the stage and tell jokes and know how to do it. Big shouts out to Andrea Cake Darton and our lead instructor, Ray Gordon, who is the big brother of Philadelphia comedy and a mentor to myself, Kevin Hart, Michael Blackson, and a whole lot of other people from Philadelphia. So that's something we started 4 years ago. I'm very big on education, so that's been very fun. And in June, we launch off with PCC Virtual. And that program is going to be great because we're not just teaching stand-up comedy. We're teaching podcasting, voiceover, acting, meme writing, legal stuff, marketing, everything that you would want to know if you just want to be funny, kind of like online or on stage. You want to know how to get to the money with that or how you can express yourself in a funny way online. And that starts in June.
Wow. So that was like that's a lot of I like that you have a comedy college and you have a course to do it because I do see people doing things and stuff like that and you do need like a helping hand and someone that has been through it like you've done it, you've hosted, you did stand up
Yeah.
comedy, you interviewed.
And not only
Something
me, like I said, we have like with me, I do so much that I'll teach the acting and the marketing part of it. But like I said, our lead instructor, Ray Gordon, and our guest speakers that come in, they are people that have been hardcore just doing stand-up comedy for years. Rest in peace, Chris Cotton. But on PCC Virtual on our beta test, we had Reginald Ballard, who plays Bruh Man from Martin, come in
Yes.
and yes, come in and talk to students about acting, staying in character, and all these things. I call it wisdom workshops. So we have people who are actually doing what you want to do, telling you exactly what
Yeah,
you have to do to do it. So,
that's the best.
that's what the program is based on. So for anybody that's interested, you can hit us up at www.philadelphiacomedycollege.com. Hit up our contact list, and we'll contact you and tell you about our programs, especially our programs that we're creating during the pandemic.
Awesome. I'm gonna probably like go back and look at this a couple times. I'm gonna go back and look at this a couple times because you said you just dropped a whole lot of interesting gems. Just
Yeah.
that it's such a clear and a clear
Well, because
way.
there's so many people, everybody knows somebody who's funny in some way, right?
Hmm.
And the interesting thing about stand-up comedy, especially for people of color, is it is one medium or one performing arts where you don't need an extensive resume to start getting paid and to produce and to do your own shows. You could basically walk in with no experience, and who knows, you could become the next Kevin Hart or become something that you could do, to make a couple of extra hundred or a couple of extra $1,000 and tour and do your thing. So a lot of people are just stuck at the how. We tell them the how, and we try to increase that why in them, find out why they want to do it, and just point them in certain directions. And I'm happy to say that most of our students still produce, perform, and some even teach stand-up comedy now in the tri-state.
That's great because like I normally don't hear about like a place that like I normally don't hear much about a course that teaches comedy, and I was curious about
Yeah.
that, and I think that
You
that's
know, in the white world, they have them. In the white
hmm
world, there are these institutions like the Groundlings or Second City where you can go to Boston or you can go to New York with Upright Citizens Brigade. You can actually take out a loan and study comedy for a bit and study the craft of comedy. Black comedy is unique in that people are just like, get up on stage and do something. But what happens is a lot of people just end up going in circles and circles and circles for years. So what we want to do is save them that time, teach them a little bit of craft, giving them the pictures and the videos and the resources they need to get out there and make money from being funny.
I think that is awesome. Um, what I want to ask, what is your best advice for someone that wants to become like that is up and coming or wants to become an entertainer?
Okay. My best advice for somebody that's up and coming and wants to be an entertainer,
Hmm.
I would say it's the best advice that I could give people just for life from things that I learned. It's get fulfilled or die trying. This is the reason that I say this. When I started entertaining, I told you when I was young, I witnessed domestic violence and
Hmm.
abuse. So at that point, I took it upon myself to provide happiness and joy for my mom, to be able to perform for her, make her laugh, make her smile. And I felt like I wasn't heard. I felt like I couldn't help her. I felt like I couldn't do things. So that caused me to want that more out there by getting into plays, by being center stage. But it wasn't until I was in my 40s that I realized that I suffered a depression that a lot of artists suffer. A lot of artists come from a place of significance. A lot of artists, not all, but most artists have suffered through some type of childhood trauma. And when they're performing on stage, they want to be heard. They want to get this stuff out. But the thing is, if you don't if you don't condition your joy and condition your fulfillment, you'll never truly be happy. And to become a financial success and still be a miserable person is to be a failure. I always tell every artist, all the children that I train, three names: Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, and Prince. Arguably three of the best that ever did it. But at the end of their journey that we call life, it wasn't the fame or the money or any of that that could have saved their lives. The only thing that could have saved their lives was a
Hmm.
friend and fulfillment. So for anybody that's getting into entertaining, being in front of people, anybody that wants to be famous, the first thing they got to figure out is why. Exactly why. And they have to figure out how to find fulfillment in their life on stage and off stage. I mean, look at what we're dealing with today. DMX had an overdose. He's in grave conditions. I'm praying for the brother because I know that he's a positive brother, but there's so much pain in him. And all the rap superstardom, all the money, all the women and everything is not going to be able to save him from that torment. He has to get fulfilled. He has to be able to not do those substances. God has a plan for everybody, so I can't say if this would have saved them or that would have saved them. But my advice to anybody that's getting inside of this art is that when you get inside of this art, you will be surrounded by people who are insecure, people who are jealous, people who are opportunistic, people who are also struggling through their trauma. So the worst thing that you can do is add that to the pot and become another miserable celebrity. So if you want a good life, if you want a good life as an artist or just in general at all, you have to be able to find your fulfillment when you can, and you have to condition your joy. You know, are you happy? Are you happy because you made it, or did you make it because you're happy? I think it's I think it's the second one. You know what I mean? Are you joyful because you won, or did you win because you're joyful? Because if you have fulfillment, no matter if you make it to be Kevin Hart or if you make it to be somebody that's not Kevin Hart, you'll still laugh and enjoy life a lot. Because at the end, nothing matters but your fulfillment and the people that love you. So that would be
Wow.
my advice.
Why couldn't they have you come and speak at like my music business class? This is what they should have had.
Well, next time they have it, next time they have it, tell me to come. Truthfully, it took me a long time. It took me a long time to learn these principles, and when I got it, I was like, you know what? That's right. I look at these celebrities all the time, and they still have stress and they still have problems. Money and fame does not make your problems go away. It magnifies
That's it.
whatever's there. That's why I
Exactly.
look at a beautiful talent like Lizzo, and I'm glad that I see sometimes she's working on her own stuff. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it doesn't matter how much, because if you come from a place where, oh, I'm going to get everybody back and I'm going to be better than everybody, how long are you really going to be on top in the music or entertainment business? You're going to be hot, but then when that goes away and other people younger and more famous than you and they start coming out, you're going to end up being depressed, sitting in the bed talking about you can't write. But guess what? If you're a person that's filled with joy, if you have found your fulfillment, if you are doing something that truly makes your heart smile and makes people around you better, forever in a day, you will be rich and famous to yourself. You will look in the mirror and you will love what you see. And that's what everybody needs to get to. And I think that their fame will happen then. Like, some people want fame and they're not ready for it. Some people want fame and they like to smoke wet every now and then. Or they have sex too frivolously and they end up becoming famous and end up getting shot or overdosing or doing whatever because the money and the fame only magnify what's there. So if you want it, work on it now. And that's something that we teach now in comedy college and in the classes where I teach to you. It's all about fulfillment and then add that skill to that. Then no matter where you are in a movie, where you are on stage, what you are when you perform, you'll be forever happy, forever free, and forever rich.
Awesome. I think that was really important, because I noticed there are a lot of people who do want to get into the entertainment industry, but like they want what's like on the outside, but then like
Yeah.
some people that don't want to do what's on the inside, the stuff you don't want to do to get there.
Yeah.
The creating and the working with the creating, the working with other people, the building, and all that type of stuff. So I think
Yeah,
that was a really good
I think
explanation.
it's natural for humans to want attention. So when you look at it, everybody wants to be famous. And to tell you the truth, everybody feels like they deserve fame. And they
Yeah.
start making up these rules like all I got to do is this and all I got to do. No, 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 no. It's hard work. To tell you the truth, I don't know anybody successful in the entertainment business that didn't. What's the language on here? I don't know if I can curse or how do you keep it?
Yeah.
Is it PG?
Yeah, you can. Sure.
Okay. I don't know anybody that has received a lot of success in entertainment that didn't bust their ass to get there, that did not work hard to get there. Like, I run across people all the time. I think like an ignorant person would say something like, Kim Kardashian ain't do nothing but a sex tape with Ray J, and that's why she's famous. And I'm always like, whoa, 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 whoa. That sex tape was a long time ago. Could you imagine living a life where you have to look perfect all the time? All the men that you dealt with have to be basketball stars or superstar rap producers or whatever. You live your whole life cultivated to look good in front of the camera and to make those moves. Kim Kardashian's skill is being popular. And it is a skill. It is a
Mm-hmm.
science to that.
Yes.
The
Mm-hmm.
science is so deep. When we think about Paris Hilton, we don't think about somebody that's almost 50. We think like she's still in her 20s. Paris Hilton is almost 50 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's deep. She built up her popularity and the science of that so much that when you see her, her branding makes her that. So I don't know anyone. And some people say, oh, this person had a hit. Having one hit song isn't anything, man. Like, okay, perfect example about fulfillment we was talking about. Remember the song Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay?
Yeah, Salento, right? Was his name
Yeah,
Salento?
then Salento killed a family member.
Yeah. Yeah.
Salento is in jail. Now, here's the thing. If all of this rap success and all of that was whatever, at one time, that was the biggest song. Kids still love that song.
Yeah.
But once again, like I said, get fulfilled or die trying. The money and the fame, all of that stuff doesn't matter. A lot of people look at it from the outside, and that's so skin deep. When you get closer to these celebrities and you start seeing the little scratches and the buffs in the mirror and everything, especially when they've been in it for a couple of years, I mean, you start to see it. Some people that wanted to be, I guess, Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson had to buy his own kids. He bought them little white children. So you take a man, for real, you take a man that works at Walmart and he got 4 kids that all love him and a wife. Who's richer, him or Michael Jackson?
Right.
Because Michael Jackson ain't here. Michael Jackson had to buy his kids.
Right. Right.
You know, dealing with just the trauma from his life, and not to speak ill of the dead, because I love me some Michael Jackson. Trust, I love me some Michael Jackson, Prince, and Whitney Houston. But when you look at everything from the outside, everything looks perfect. You don't see the trauma. You don't see the addiction. You can only drive one car at one time. You can only live in one house. All of that stuff will still follow you. So to tell you the truth, while you want to come up it would behoove you to do some meditation, to start eating right, to work out, to get closer to the creator. If you don't believe in God, get close to whatever it is you believe in and get your mind right, your body right, and your spirit right. And then you'll start seeing success like you never saw in your life. I know I have.
Awesome. I could literally listen to you talk about that in depth all day for like the rest of the interview. I wanted to
Mhm.
ask, do you have any products for sale? I mean, but I know you have your music out on all digital platforms.
Yes.
Um, so how many so what is your latest your latest music or album that's out on the digital platforms is called, I forgot what you were telling me it was called.
The COVID theory.
The COVID Theory, right.
Yes.
Do you have any products added for sale, like merchandise or anything?
Not right now. There's just a bundle. There's bundles that I come out with that are
Okay.
content. So it includes the album, the videos, and then if there's a new video or new content or bonus songs. And I do those through Cash App, Keithfromupdablock. So if you're just feeling generous and you want to donate to me, you can donate. But I
Okay.
have bundles that I come out with. There's those. There are more shirts. I have shirts, buttons, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm going to be packaging more. I haven't done much of that because of COVID, and a lot
Yeah.
of people just don't want something personally from my warehouse sent out to them. Not saying that I have COVID, but I definitely understand. These were things that I was selling when I would do live shows. But those are coming soon. But for right now, people can get the album, they can stream the album and support it and watch my videos and just spread the word. And when I'm doing a show come out, I know I'm in Camden next week.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask, do you have any upcoming shows, whether it's via streaming or live? You were just telling me to talk to ask you
Yeah,
about
there's a live show that I have in Camden. If anybody's interested, hit me up. Uh, hit me up. Just
that.
DM me. Let me know if you're in Camden, New Jersey next week. I think it starts at like 5 or 6 o'clock. It's me and Lamar Todd and IMD, who produces like the best shows out there in Camden. So that's next week, and I'm performing live. There's some more stuff that'll be coming up throughout the summer that I'll be announcing. A lot of these are going to be boutique shows. I love performing like up close and personal. Like that's
Hmm.
my style. I know some people like the big, crazy, whatever. Nah, put me in a room with 20 to 70 people and I'm right in their face, and we up close, and that's my heaven right there. But with the pandemic, of course, you can't always do that now.
Right, right. I wanted to ask you didn't you also did a series or mini series on CNN, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. There's a new docu-series out. The docu-series is called Lincoln Divided We Stand. Lincoln Divided We Stand on CNN. And it's narrated by Sterling K. Brown. Do you watch This Is Us?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Sterling K. Brown is the black guy with the glasses on This Is Us.
Yes.
The
Yes.
dude, yeah, he narrates it, and it's basically about Abraham Lincoln up into his death, and I play Frederick Douglass. So check
Oh,
out the
awesome.
check out the docu series on episode 5, 6, and a little piece of 4. I'm Frederick Douglass on that docu series, which is cool because that's reaching billions globally.
Oh,
So
that
check
yeah.
it out, and it's a good take on Lincoln. It's not the average stuff that you know about Lincoln. It's about how he was a little bit racist, or how he was racist, and how he didn't free the slaves just to free them. He freed them so that they could fight in a war. He didn't want the
Exactly.
slaves after they were freed to live in America. He wanted to move them to Costa Rica or back to Africa. And the moment that he said black people should vote, that's the reason he got killed. That is the sole reason that John Wilkes Booth killed him. He was a white supremacist. And in his words, he said, oh, he's trying to get nigger citizenship. So they killed Abraham Lincoln because he wanted to give black people more rights. Like specifically, there was no other reason. That was the reason. So it's a,
Wow.
it's a very it's a very powerful and great docu series. I suggest everybody watch it, not just because I'm in it, but we need to
No,
know what this
I'm
country
trying
is
to watch.
doing.
I don't know, like I literally like seen like commercials and stuff for it, but like
Mhm.
when you actually talk about it, and because you explain a lot of things in a lot of detail, and I like a lot of detail. Like
Yeah. Did you know
I
he
was
had
like,
three
wow, that sounds
children?
really good.
He had three children who died. One died in the White House from drinking from the fountain.
Wow.
Right, his life was plagued with death. Like his mom died, his dad died, It was. I mean, it is a deep miniseries. A lot of people don't even know he was the first Republican. The first Republican, and he
Wow.
was. And he ran on the bill that was anti-slavery because the Democrats wanted slavery.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I would
so
totally
it's a
agree.
lot of on the last episode. I love it because they tie his journey and what he was saying to the Black Lives Matter movement. So they do
Oh,
catch
okay.
up and they show you how what he said wasn't realized, how the Ku Klux Klan was formed, how the South, since they didn't win, did a whole lot of stuff, you know what I mean, to stop black people and the laws that were created that still affect us today. So for the history buffs and for people that just want to know more about why the country is the way it is, please watch Lincoln Divided We Stand and check me out as Frederick Douglass making a cameo.
Awesome. So we can catch that. We can catch that on CNN, right? And then
On CNN on demand.
CNN on
Because it already came on. It was a six-part miniseries. The last one aired probably 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
it's on there. But I'm on another series. I'm on a series on Netflix that's also kind of historically accurate. And a lot of people don't know this, even though my part is very small. My part in these things are small, but it is an important show. There's a show on Netflix called Mindhunter. And
Uh,
it's called
okay.
Mindhunter. And I'm on Mindhunter season 2. All right,
Mine.
season 2, episode 9 of Mindhunter. And the thing that makes Mindhunter so dope is that, and I'll do this real quick. Mindhunter is about the creation of the FBI's forensic criminal discovery team. So back in the day, basically when they used to hunt people who killed a lot of people, like serial killers, they used to hunt them like they would kill somebody who shot somebody at the corner store or had a beef. What happened was there was this one detective that said, no, we can't hunt them like that. We got to get into their psychology and we got to get into forensic psychology. And the FBI needs forensic psychology. So they came up with the term serial killer. And they started studying different serial killers to find out their patterns, like how the whole thing about how serial killers don't like their mom and are sexually
Mhm.
frustrated. This team came up with that. So the TV show is a fictional show, but it's based on these real things that kind of happened and how they interviewed Ted Bundy, Charles Manson, and all these other serial killers to find out how to hunt new serial killers. Now, the reason it's historically accurate is not just because of that, but season 2 is about the Atlanta child murders and the hunt for
Okay.
the Atlanta child murderer. And if you don't know, there were about 28 to 32 black children who were killed in Atlanta in the late 70s and early 80s, and they didn't deem it a serial killer until like the 20th kid. But this forensic psychologist team saw it early, and they're hunting this killer, like, throughout the whole time. So season 2, Mindhunter on Netflix, very deep, very black, very historical, and I play a detective from DeKalb County, where a lot of the kids were killed in there. I got no lines, but I stand in the back, and you can see me looking real serious. It's back when I had my afro. So if you get a chance, check that out and check out Lincoln. It's super black.
Awesome. So that's Mindhunter season 2, episode 9. You said
hmm
awesome.
Episode 9, I think probably about 40 minutes in, you'll see me standing behind the main character. Well, it's kind of like right in the point. That's the last episode of the season. So it's right, every show got that point where, like, they start to solve the crime.
Uh huh. I actually started a couple episodes of Mindhunter. That's why I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, my
I
hunter's
think
really
that's
good.
awesome.
Can I leave
Um,
real quick and come back?
sure.
Like 30 seconds? Okay, give
Yeah,
me
yeah,
30
sure,
seconds.
sure. Guys, I'm having like one of the most info, like this is a really fun interview. So I'm really loving the interview that I'm having. And Keith from the Block will be back. We just took a little break. So uh, let's see.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm coming
No,
back.
you're fine. You're fine. Definitely.
Okay, I'm back.
Uh, yeah, I was just saying, like, this is one of my like my best in one of my best interviews. So I'm really enjoying it. Kid,
Oh, cool, cool.
I also wanted to ask, due to COVID-19 shutdowns, where do you see the future of like live music and live performance and production heading?
Hmm. That's very good. I think that whoever survives after this, I think their performances are going to be much more dynamic and much more powerful. Because what happened when COVID-19 hit, when the pandemic hit, it forced everybody, no matter what they do, to really deal with who and how and what they were. Because since outside is gone, you can't really cap anymore. You can't really just act popular. If you were getting views and you were doing stuff, it's because you really wanted to do it. All right, because the whole country was in a depressed state. So I think what that's done is for people who are great and passionate about what they do, like take me and you. You got the indie spotlight jumping. You're interviewing more people because they're home. You're crafting this. You're making it better. You're becoming a better person. Me, I took on the challenge to become a better person and a better artist, to get more fulfillment, to understand myself, and to learn new creative skills that I had to learn from the ground up. There's a lot of people that's just been sitting on their ass and not doing nothing. And when the world comes back, that's going to show. When the world comes back and people start performing again, I think performances are going to be better. They're going to be more dynamic. They're going to be more powerful, and they're going to be more personal. I will hope that this whole pandemic, COVID-19, weeded out the bullshit. So the people that were only doing it either just for popularity or weren't really passionate about it, I hope that in this time they found out what they're passionate about. Because if when the pandemic hit, say you were a comic and you were performing every week, and you stopped doing comedy at all, you wasn't producing nothing, not trying to be funny, then you're not really a comic. Because this made us deal with who we are, how we are, and what we are in a very real way. You have to really deal with it. I mean, we had family members who were dying. Some of us were sick with COVID. We
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on with the world. There was a whole social uprising.
Yeah.
America tore itself. America tore itself to pieces. So you had to deal with who you were, how you were, and what you were. It wasn't just about capping or doing it for the gram. It was about what was in your heart.
Definitely. That's a really good answer. I noticed that COVID brought a lot of bad things, but it also uh, brought to like the entertainment industry or people that were like used to doing live music, entertainment, and acting and stuff. It adaptability. How well
Yeah,
were you able to adapt?
yeah,
And I think it brought on like new avenues of everyone and like creativity from everyone. And I'm seeing like a lot of different stuff happen. And I hope we keep the type of things that we're doing up even when like it comes back. Like mix, of course, go back to doing your stuff live and stuff, but still have this. Still have
yeah.
what
And
we're doing now.
I hope that music spins into giving more positive, not even positive, more real messages. Because
Yeah.
for a while, to tell you the truth, music has just been on some bullshit for the party, and it's like, yo, the party ain't there no more. Nobody going to the party. So
Yes.
why y'all making party music? You can't really go to the party without getting sick and dying. So I'm
Thank
really
you.
looking for
Yes.
I'm really
Yes.
looking forward to seeing what people come up with and the new messages and the new things. I think that especially creativity is a bit different. Movie making is a bit different. So I'm looking forward to seeing post COVID the type of
Mhm.
material that people put out.
Yeah, like yeah, what did we come up with after all this stuff? Because we have
Yeah.
to like express it in some way. So I hope like hopefully like one day in the future, hopefully the near future that I will be able to somehow in some form and way work with you and come to a few of your shows and stuff like that and meet you and
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely. Well, the next shows that I'm doing, I don't want to give away too much, but there's a mansion show that I'm about to do.
Oh.
And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now is going to be boutique. I'm not, the world is here, and I understand that, but I'm just trying to hit the little bit of people that really love what I do. So a lot of the shows are going to be boutique shows for like 5 to 10 couples. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the ticket price might be high, but the performance is going to be magnanimous. You know what I mean? And great. And it'll be an experience like no other. So I have a mansion show coming up. I have another barbecue show coming up. And all of these shows will be experiences, like full audio sensory experiences, so that when you come out, whether you with your girlfriends or whether you with a date or something, it'll be a night to remember because people will forget your name. They'll never forget how you make them feel. And where I am now, I want to make people feel awesome.
Awesome. Isn't that something about like from like being an entertainer and having as much of experience and stuff like that is like just like owning your craft and doing what you do and doing what you love to do. You have like a lot of energy and you can tell that you actually love to do it. And
Well,
honestly,
listen,
like I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet and stuff like that, and I'm like, it ain't no quality assurance or quality control, because if it was, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be existing. Some of the
no, it's
stuff,
the great. No, it's the great. It is the great. We are being duped. We are being sometimes the tail leads the dog. There's a lot of propaganda going on. Like for
mm-hmm,
instance, if I can say this real quick, and I got in
mm-hmm,
arguments with people over this whole Little Nas X thing in this video for Montero, and there was a lot
mm-hmm,
of people saying, "Oh, it's satanic," and a lot of it is the homophobia because he is dancing on the pole, popping his booty on Satan and doing that. Then he came out with the devil shoes, and people were like, it's satanic," and I said, for me as an artist, I was like, listen, what he's trying to say is that in modern religion and how people look at him as a gay black dude doing his thing, they look at it like it's evil. So to tell you the truth, the video is a big fuck you to everybody who thinks that being gay is evil because he's going to give Satan a lap dance, then break Satan's neck. Then he's going to become Satan. Now, I'm a straight man, but I can appreciate all the struggles that the LGBTQ goes through. What would it be the artistic thing that I would do? No. If I had young kids, would they be able to watch it? They're not going to be able to watch WAP by Cardi B either. So, no, they're not going to watch that because I can't explain the devil and everything to them. Plus, I don't even know if the devil looks like that. Now, here's the thing. Everybody was saying it's satanic, but I was looking and I was like, yo, there are way more satanic messages in the music that we feed our kids every day. Really quickly, I used to teach age 19 to 23 black men who were incarcerated on probation and parole. Okay. And what I used to teach them was different tactics that they could use to get gainful employment, legal gainful employment. One of the lessons that I came in with was I was telling them at a young age, when you hear a song, you don't know the difference between exaggeration and what's really real. So the example that I used was the Jada Kiss song. I think it's Knock Yourself Out or We Gonna Make It. And the line that he says is, fuck that frail shit, because when my coke comes in, you gotta weigh it with the scales they weigh the whales with. I broke down to these young men, I said, there's no way that Jada Kiss sells that much cocaine. Because if you were selling so much cocaine that you had to weigh it on a scale that you weigh whales from the ocean with, you wouldn't have time to rap, tour, do anything else. It is too much of a responsibility that is gazillions of dollars. He wouldn't even. They argued me down. Then I stopped and realized these were the young men that were listening to that shit, that were getting fed that shit when they were 9, 10 years old, so they believed it, and now they're on probation or parole. Then I gave them another statistic. I said that 1 out of every 5 black men on probation and parole at the age of 18 to 23 will end up murdered by another young black man before he reaches such and such age. And I'm looking at 30 men. I said, if this is true, then at least one of you won't be here when I finish this 6-week course. And I'll be damned if it ain't true. The one that was arguing me down the most about the Jada Kiss point got shot today. They shot this boy till his shirt caught on fire. Like, you feel me? So the interesting thing is how we can look at Little Nas X and say, that's evil, he's got the devil. When to tell you the truth, there's so much of our material, is about murder, is about death, is about drug use, is about misogyny, is like
oh no, you're
promiscuity.
right.
And I'm no
You're
saint.
right. But that is true. I see all of those things and it weighs on you because it becomes to be like a culture and it starts to become a sort of religion when you're,
Yeah.
young and naive and stuff like that. But to say one thing about I actually had posted like a question more so about the Monterio video by Little Nas X. I said I like to normally look at the background and find out why things are the way they are, but no one is also looking at the marketing scheme in it. In order to sell shoes for $1,100, you're going to need controversy about them. And it was 666 pairs of the sneakers that he was selling. I think they were like 1,018, and it was 666 pairs of them for the 666, or the Mark of the Beast or whatever, and they sold out in minutes. It's funny how like controversy and selling goes hand in hand. Like, look at the marketing scheme. A lot of things are huge
Well,
marketing.
yeah, and the fact that, to tell you the truth, Little Nas X from the beginning of his career hasn't
Hmm.
been doing what he's been doing to represent kind of the black community. I remember
Hmm.
seeing him at the Country Music Awards, and the Country Music Awards is very racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's always broken barriers. And the thing is, in the white pop world, and just in the music world, they don't take those satanic images like we do. Like, to tell you the truth, a lot of it is almost a joke. Like, for instance, Sharon Osbourne hosts what? The Talk? Sharon
Hmm.
Osbourne is a host of The Talk. She is the wife and manager of Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne is the biggest devil worshiping rock star of all times. Ozzy Osbourne used to do shows and bite the head off of a bat in the middle of
Yeah.
his show. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
So you watch the show, The Osbournes, they celebrating Christmas and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So all of the time he's using the satanic image for like shock and awe.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can't speak for Little Nas X. I can't speak for anybody whether they're going to go to heaven or hell. I know where I'm trying to make it to. I believe Jesus Christ died for my sins, but I got respect for everybody, whether they be Muslims, whether they be atheists, whether they be whatever. So my thing is, I'm not scared of that devil image. I don't think the devil is big red and mustard. I think the
Right.
devil is probably white and orange and
Hmm.
ran for president and won. That's what I think.
I noticed that like a lot of people were saying like to find out why things were happening. I was like, when you start to take like your emotions out of it and see like stuff for what they are, it wasn't even like that, because like you were saying, like I have respect for all different communities and freedom of speech and what people believe in. I just look at like so much stuff. There's so many marketing schemes and schemes hidden within a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, wow, like you just start to see things for like what they are. And
Well, yeah, and this company, they create off the wall creations. Like, they had the Jesus shoes that came out, and the
yeah.
Jesus shoes have holy water in them from the River Jordan in the bubble with the Jesus piece on the front and then a Bible scripture on the side. So they came out with the Satan shoes. They also came
Hmm.
out with a pair of sandals that they made from ripped up Birkin bags. Like,
Hmm.
so they have, these sandals and these other things that they create to be off the wall. So I think that people just put what they wanted to put into it, and the fact that he was gay made it
Hmm.
easier for people to kind of rage on it. And I'm just like, yo, man, it's just a damn video. The more energy, where focus goes, energy flows. So I think if you
Right.
put energy into that video being satanic and the shoes being satanic, cool. But I'm like, yo, literally, I saw a kid die because he was following the principles of not Jada Kiss, but just of this hip hop culture and where it is. That doesn't mean it is Jada's fault. That doesn't mean it is his parents' fault for listening to it. But if we got to look at where evil lies, and where
Hmm.
evil lies, we don't have to look no further than the radio station and the shit that they pump into the heads of the youth all the time. And I think that something needs to change. I think it's easy to call a devil out when you see him getting a lap dance from Little Nas X. And plus,
Right.
I noticed the devil wasn't even enjoying the lap dance. I didn't know what was up with that. But the devil looked like for real, the devil looked like, you ever been to a strip club? The devil
Yeah.
looked like when the ugly stank John come by and try to get a tip and you don't really want to tip her. Like, look at Satan in that video. Satan looked mad as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Satan ain't like throwing ones like, yeah, nigga, pop that booty. Satan looking like, yo, man, this some gay shit. And I don't know why the Christians are so upset, because if you think that gay people are going to hell, why shouldn't he give Satan a lap dance? Shouldn't he make some friends before he get there?
I think that was definitely like, I think like a lot of things are like freedom of like just freedom of expression. I was more so just looking at the way people are coming in and doing things and making these huge business moves right underneath our eyes through controversy and getting us to talk about things and getting us to share things on our platform, and it spreads like controversy and gossip and stuff, it spreads like a virus. And I've even seen people, there's hosts and vloggers and bloggers have literally made a huge platform from that. And it's
my end, or is it on your end?
somebody like a call or something came through. I'm gonna close this interview, and then I'm gonna come back with you. I'm gonna save this and come. You mind?
That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna come back in 5 minutes. Okay. I'll be live in like a couple more minutes. So I'm gonna save this because I don't want to lose all this good stuff that we've been talking about. Okay. So I will be right back.
That's fine with me.
Thanks, guys.